The rain came down in thick sheets as Evan guided his bike down the slick country road. The pizza bag strapped to his back, the only thing keeping him from being completely soaked. His headlights cut through the darkness, illuminating the skeletal trees that lined Blackwood Lane. Just one more delivery, he told himself. Then I can go home. The GPS led him to a house he'd never seen before. A looming, 2-story Victorian with peeling paint and sagging porches. The windows were dark, except for a single flickering light upstairs. The address matched the order, 237 Blackwood Lane. Evan knocked, his wet fingers leaving streaks on the weathered wood. The door creaked open before his knuckles even left the surface. A woman stood there, her face half hidden in shadow. She was older, maybe in her 60s, with silver hair pulled into a tight bun. Her smile was too wide, her teeth too white. "Oh, you're here," she said, her voice like rustling paper. "We've been waiting." Evan forced a smile. "1 large pepperoni, extra cheese?" Yes, that's the one," she said, stepping aside. "Come in, dear. It's dreadful out there." Something in Evan's gut twisted, but the warmth of the house and the promise of a good tip made him step inside. The air smelled like old books and something faintly sweet, like rotting fruit. The woman took the pizza, her fingers brushing his just a second too long. "Thank you," she said. "You're always so reliable." Evan frowned. First time delivering here, ma'am." The woman's smile didn't waver. "Oh, of course, silly me." A floorboard creaked upstairs. Evan glanced up. The flickering light from the floor was gone. Now, the hallway was pitch black. Then, 2 pinpricks of light, eyes staring down at him. Behind him, the woman called out, "You'll come back." It wasn't a question. The rain had turned into a storm by the time Evan reached his car. His hands shook as he fumbled with the keys. What the hell was that? He threw the car into drive and sped down the road, his heart hammering. In his rearview mirror, the house shrank into the darkness. Then, movement. A figure stood in the middle of the road, illuminated by his taillights. A woman in a tattered white dress, her face pale, her eyes hollow. Evan swerved. The car skidded, tires screaming against the wet asphalt. He gripped the wheel, fighting for control. And then he was back on the road. He didn't look back. Evan didn't stop shaking until he reached his next delivery. A brightly lit apartment complex on the other side of town. The customer, a college student, frowned when he saw him. "Dude, you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." Evan forced a laugh. "Just Bad weather. The guy took the pizza, handed him a tip, and shut the door. Evan exhaled. Maybe he was overreacting. Maybe the woman in white was just some weirdo walking in the rain. Then his phone buzzed. New delivery, 237 Blackwood Lane. His blood turned to ice. No way. He canceled the order. His phone buzzed again. Order accepted. Evan stared at the screen in horror. He hadn't touched it. The GPS turned on by itself. Evan's car wouldn't turn off. The engine roared as it carried him back toward Blackwood Lane, his hands glued to the wheel. The storm raged harder now, the wind howling like a wounded animal. The house appeared ahead, its windows glowing. The front door stood open. Inside, the woman waited, her smile wider than before. "We knew you'd come back," she said. Behind her, the shadows moved. Something hungry stepped forward. Evan screamed. Next day, newspaper. Missing delivery driver found in mysterious crash. October 31st, 1998. 22-year-old Evan Carter was discovered early this morning near the outskirts of Blackwood. His vehicle was found crashed into a tree. Though no skid marks or signs of braking were present, authorities are baffled by the state of the car. The doors were locked from the inside, and the gas tank was full. Yet the engine had burned out as if it had been running for days. Stranger still, a single slice of cold pizza was found on the passenger seat. When questioned, residents of 237 Blackwood Lane denied ever ordering delivery. "We don't even eat pizza," said homeowner Margaret Harlow. The case remains open. Epilogue. The next night, another delivery boy arrived at 237 Blackwood Lane. The door opened before he could knock. A woman smiled at him. "Come in," she said. "We've been waiting." And somewhere upstairs, something licked its lips.